Hindi ko siya kasya.
Bakit? May script ba dyan?
Oo, may script ako dyan. Oh, hey there! We are now in our new episode of TED Talk. Good morning, everyone. So, before we proceed to our main agenda for today, let me start first by asking you a simple question. Are you content with your life today? Or have you ever compared your status to others? Do you ever think that maybe if you went abroad, your status in life would improve, rather than staying in a country where people and the government aren't supporting one another? Or do you question yourself about the reasons behind the inequality among countries? So, these are the questions that many of us ponder, consciously or subconsciously. Today, I want to talk about the stark difference between the life in the so-called first world countries and the third world countries, and explore the reasons behind this global divide. So let's start first by defining what we mean by the first world and the third world countries. First world countries are typically those advanced economies, robust infrastructures, and high standards of living. For example, it includes the United States, Germany, and Japan. Wherein nakikita natin sa Japan na yung mga technologies nila, it is very updated or hindi, napakalayo ng Philippines doon. So on the other hand, the third world countries often grapple with the poverty, lack of infrastructures, and limited access to education and the healthcare. For example, it includes many nations in Africa, Latin America, and part of Asia, specifically the Philippines. These countries frequently face challenges such as political instability, corruption, and economic hardship. Di ba at napakaliwanag ng mga pagkakaiba? Tingnan na lang natin ang ibang numero. Sa first world country or bansa, ang average GDP per capita ay napakataas. Kadalasan itong lumalampas sa $40,000. Ang literacy rate sa mga bansang ito ay may halos 100%. At ang access sa kalidad na healthcare ay sigurado, na magre-resulta sa mataas na life expectancy at ang mababang infant mortality rates. Sa kabaliktaran naman, sa mga third world na bansa, ang GDP per capita ay maaaring mababa ng ilang libong dolyar o mas mababa pa. Ang literary rate ay maaaring napakababa din. Minsan nga, mas mababa pa sa 50% ang mga healthcare facilities ay madalas din nakulang sa pondo at ang mga staff na ito ay nagre-resulta sa mababang life expectancy at mataas na infant mortality rates. So, kitang-kita agad natin yung pagkakaiba dun pa lang. But, let's consider different factors pa. First factor is the education. In the first world countries, students have access to the state-of-the-art technology, well-trained teachers, and abundant learning materials. Classrooms are equipped with the latest gadgets, internet access is widespread, and the curricula are regularly updated to reflect the latest knowledge and skills. In the contrast, in many third world countries, students might share outdated textbooks, sit in an overcrowded classroom, and be taught by underpaid and overworked teachers. Many schools lack basic facilities like electricity, clean water, or even a proper classrooms. The disparity in education sets the stage for a lifetime of inequality, limiting the opportunities for millions of children. Another factor is the healthcare, which in the first world countries, it has more advanced medical facilities and has a cutting-edge research led to longer life expectancies and a better overall health. People have access to a wide range of medical services, from preventative care to complex surgeries. Vaccination programs are widespread and the public health policies are robust and well-funded. However, in the third world countries, preventable disease claim countless lives and access to even the basic medical care can be a luxury. Hospitals are often under-equipped and there is a severe shortage of trained healthcare professionals. Malnutrition, lack of clean water, and inadequate sanitation contribute to a high burden of diseases, making everyday life a struggle to many. So, Nakikita naman natin na dun pa lang sa mga healthcare facilities talagang kulang dito sa mga third world countries. For example na nga lang sa Philippines, dito sa country natin, kitang-kita natin yung pagkakaiba since hindi na kakayang gamutin ng mga doctors or hindi kayang masustain ng facility dito sa Philippines yung mga severe talagang sakit tulad ng mga malalang cancer, then they need to go abroad para magpagaling. Pero bakit nga ba may ganitong hindi pagkakapantay-pantay? Ang mga dahilan ay komplikado at maraming aspeto. Isa na rito ay ang mga historical factors tulad ng colonialism na nag-iwan sa mga third world na bansa na may hindi matatag na political at economic system. Ang legacy ng exploitation at the resource of extraction ay nagresulta rin sa may hinang ekonomiya na heavily dependent sa ilang commodities. Dito rin ay ang mga global trade policies ay kadalasang pumapabor sa mayayamang bansa na nagpapahirap sa may hirap na bansa na makipagkompetensya. Halimbawa na rito ay ang mga agricultural subsidies sa first world na bansa ay maaaring gawing imposible para sa mga magsasaka sa third world na bansa na maibenta ang kanilang mga produkto sa competitive na presyo. Bukod dito, ang mga debt burdens at ang restrictive trade agreements ay maaaring magpigil sa economic growth of development. Ang mga internal factors tulad naman ng corruption, poor governance at ang kakulangan ng infrastruktura ay lalo magpapadala ng isyong ito. Ang corruption ay maaaring mag-divert ng resources mula sa mga essential services tulad ng edukasyon at healthcare, habang ang poor governance naman ay maaaring magdulot ng instability at conflict. Ang kakulangan naman ng mga infrastruktura tulad ng kalsada, kuryente at internet access ay humahadlang sa economic development at naglilimita sa oportunidad ng mga tao na pagandahin ang kanilang buhay. Do you think that there's still a hope for improvement? If you think that there is, then you're right. Ang internal aid development projects at ang mga pagsisikap ng non-governmental organizations ay may mahalagang papel sa pag-bridge ng gap na ito. Ang mga educational initiatives, healthcare programs at ang economic development projects ay nagkakaroon ng epekto. Ang mga organisasyon tulad naman ng UNICEF, World Health Organization at marami pang iba ay walang tigil na nagtatrabaho para mapabuti ang mga kalagayan sa pamumuhay ng mga mamamayan sa third world na bansa. Ang mga education programs ay naglalayo naman na pataasin ang literacy rates at bigyan ang mga bata ng kasanayang kailangan nila para magtagumpay. Ang mga healthcare initiatives naman ay nakatuon sa pagpapababa ng maternal at child mortality, paglaban sa mga infectious disease at ang pagpapabuti ng access sa medical care. Ang mga economic development projects naman ay nagtatrabaho upang lumikha ng mga trabaho, suportahan ng maliliit na negosyo at magtayo ng essential infrastructures. Subalit, ang mga pagsisikap na ito ay kailangang masustain at mas-scale up sapagkat hindi naman sapat ang pondo na meron ng mga organisasyong ito. Hindi nga sapat ang pansamantalang tulong lang. Ang kailangan natin ay ang isang long-term solutions na tutugon sa ugat ng hindi pagkakapantay-pantay. So, as a future educators, leaders, and global citizens, we have a role to play. We can advocate for fairer trade policies, support sustainable development, and contribute to the educational initiatives. We can also raise awareness about these disparities and work towards a more equitable world. One way to get involved is through supporting or through volunteer works with organizations that work in developing countries. Even small contributions can make a big difference. For instance, we are sponsoring a child's education which can help them to transform their life and create opportunities for their future. We can also push for changes in our own country's policies, advocating for increased foreign aid, for trade practices, and the reduction of harmful subsidies can also help to create a more level playing field for developing nations. So, the global divide is a reality we cannot ignore. But by understanding the causes and committing to change, we can help to bridge the gap. The challenge is immense, but it is our capacity to make a difference. Are you ready to be part of the solution? Together, we can work towards a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a healthy, fulfilling life regardless of where they were born. So, thank you for your time and attention.